All right, I'm just going to do a little soundbite. So we are going to be discussing this novel, the first 2 chapters of Fist Stick Knife Gun by Geoffrey Canada.
Yay.
Yeah. So I guess, were there any passages that stood out to you guys as you were reading?
I can start. I think one of the first passages that stood out to me was on, I want to say it's on page 9. I don't know if it's of the PDF or of the graphic novel. Basically, if y'all are scrolling, but it's the part where the mom says to the brothers, you can't just let people take your things. You know, I don't have money for another jacket. You better not ever do this again. So it was like right after Dan and the brothers had the whole situation where someone stole his little brother's jacket. Did anyone else like highlight that section? Possibly. Yeah, and so for me, I think that moment, the theme that really stuck out to me in that moment was this theme of poverty. And I really thought a lot about, like, would the mom have said that to him or had that level of reaction if they had the means, the money to be able to just purchase another one? And so this question of like,
Jesus.
I just don't know if the mom, she would have been upset that they let them take the jacket, but I don't know that she would be so upset about it. She'd say, we can just replace it. So I don't know. What do y'all think about that part?
I don't know.
I also highlighted. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I also highlighted that part. I thought it was around themes of, or I was thinking about themes of parenting and survival. So it's interesting. Like I connected it to poverty, but that wasn't like the main theme that I was thinking about when you said that. I also highlighted in that same passage that the instinct of the boys, and that actually might support your claim, Kim, that Mr. Orson, and that it says, to my mind, John's explanation was clear and convincing. The case was closed. And then it says later, Daniel was being accused of something and none of us knew what it was. So that makes me think, Mr. Omersad, that none of them may be thinking that way if poverty wasn't an issue.
Yeah, and just to kind of add on to what you were saying, Miss Cordero, the theme of parenting really stuck out to me in this scene, and I saw an interesting kind of relationship between that and poverty. I think it's easy as a reader to kind of make a judgment about this mother and whether or not we perceive her as a good parent or a bad parent. She's reacting to something that kind of seems trivial to some, but when you're really thinking about the context in which they live, we know that they are living in extreme poverty. And I think one passage that stood out to me later on, I can't quite remember where it is, but Geoffrey talks about how they were the poorest welfare cheats that anybody had ever seen. So that really kind of highlights how, here it is, how poor and impoverished their upbringing was, and whether or not that has bearing on how we view her as a parent. So I don't know, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. How do you perceive her as a parent? Would you classify her as a good parent, bad parent?
Well, I would classify her as a good parent, right? Because let me take a step back. I was going to agree with what Ms. Domersan said in terms of her reaction. I don't know why I feel so like, oh, I remember my parents being upset with me about something that I've done, whether it was trivial or whether it wasn't. Like, just that reaction really resonates with my childhood. And I think it's interesting. I don't know if we can necessarily judge her as a parent, because I feel like we're not in the position to say, did she make the right move or did she not? Because we also don't have the responsibility of caring for kids and also to be financially in the situation that she's in. So I wouldn't necessarily say she's a good parent or a bad parent. I think the fact that she is trying to support her kids, whether she's getting assistance or not, shows that, she is taking, she's being a responsible parent. I think the fact that she doesn't have any, or the fact that they are struggling financially, just adds into like the anxieties of being a parent, is what I take from it. And so maybe her emotions are heightened, but it's because of the fact that she has to provide and she does not necessarily have the means.